Asher, I look cool with sunglasses inside. Thank you, bro. I got these last minute. I was like, you know what? Let's just wear sunglasses on stream. Um, okay, sick. Let's just start at the beginning then. One of the main like things in the song is this guitar riff at the beginning, and it's a couple layers. I probably consolidated some of these too. One of the things that you'll notice, especially in this project, in a lot of my projects, I tend to commit things a lot as I go. So meaning like sometimes you'll find like MIDI in my projects and stuff, but a lot of times I flatten that down and I like commit to certain sounds as soon as I can because it saves like your computer's processing power and it just helps me like not tweak endlessly on certain sounds. So just know that if you guys are like dying to hear like the source of a certain track or whatever, like we can try to dig into old projects and see like how I made it. I might just remember how I made some of this stuff, but um, starts with this guitar loop here. So this first layer is kind of that track that gives it tempo, and then you have that cool guitar fill. Oh, sorry, the harmonics here. So that's one of my favorite things about the track, just because it felt really unique to me. And I remember the way I made this is just by chopping up. I recorded like different harmonics on my guitar. So like this one and a different one. I might have just pitched them around. I think I flattened this, so this doesn't show the transposition and stuff. But I created these different harmonics in this little fill here, and then just kind of put them together, and it made this cool moment. And that's just combined with the kind of like root notes of the chords. Right? So that part in of itself is really simple, but combined with the more the more complicated part, it sounds really nice. And then as far as processing, you can just check it out here. I have some multi-band compression. This delay on both of the tracks, I think, is adding a lot. I have a delay there too. This guy, just gives it some movement. And then I'm mostly gonna, by the way, I'll go through all like the production stuff first, and then we can look at vocals. But in this part, feels like it's about time to make you mine. We have these other guitars come in. So another layer, just doing those bass notes. It's panned right, and it's a different tone. And I find that like when you layer different guitar tones, it can get a little bit thicker. And then you have this guy. So a slightly different fill right here, and then it's actually doing like more than one note. So together. You get a pretty cool guitar sound. At that same point, we have some bass come in. So I have this electric bass. And I still don't have an electric bass. That's actually like my next purchase. Probably, I really want one. But what I've done in the past and what I probably did here is just record the bass notes on guitar and then just pitch them down an octave. And I probably put them through like an amp simulator or something to get that sound. And that's combined with this sub. Now, if you're not wearing headphones, if you're on your phone, you probably don't hear that at all. But if you're on like good speakers or headphones, that really adds a lot to like the beefiness of that bass. So we got that. And then this is the first moment in the song where we have like some percussion come in. So all the drum group together sounds like this. So it's kind of nice. We have this layer here, which is a tonal like blip thing. I think it's fun to layer like just tones, like little plucks like that on snares. Sounds pretty cool. And then we have this clap loop thing. I don't remember if this is just a sample or if it's a loop. I don't know. And we have this percussion loop. Right, and then this is my favorite layer. I feel like this layer adds the most character. It's just like me beatboxing and through some effects. Kind of sounds kind of radio-y or like on the phone or something. So the whole percussion group, I feel like, really adds a lot. Right? So that just helps the song build in a cool way. And then we have the chorus.
You can't take all my money, and there's no way around it. You can't take all my money. Don't think.
Cool. Then right here we have this cool like guitar impact. This was Josh's idea, I remember. He's a genius. This is sick. I love this sound. And it's just, I think it's just two guitars hard panned left and right. And I feel like at the end it sounds like I pitched it down. So what I probably did, like if I was to recreate it in Ableton, I would just like put it on warp and complex mode and go over to here to clip and then transposition. I probably just pitched down the end. Let me do it earlier so you can hear. Yeah, so I just exaggerated it, but it sounds like I did that. Let's see what else comes in here. We have this synth. This is a huge project, by the way. Oh, we have that little sound. Oh, it looks like I have the original sound here. Let's see. So this strummer thing is just like an effect that makes it sound like an instrument is strumming. So for example, you could like just draw in a piano chord. Like here it's all the notes are playing at the same time, but the strum makes them like strum like a guitar, which makes it sound a little bit cooler. And it's just a sample. It's just this one shot. Let me see what the original. So the original sound is this. That's the original sound. And dropped in there and put some delay on it and some OTT, it looks like. Some compression. As far as synths, I think that's it. Oh, and we have this vocal hit, which is a like kind of I feel like a kind of like one of the themes of the song. Let me back up a little bit actually, because I missed something in the very beginning, I think. Yeah, in the very beginning we have these hits that happen a lot in the song, and I know exactly what like processing I did on this because I use this a lot. I made this effect rack called I Can't Make This Out, and basically I made this like distortion rack that makes it so like when you put it on a vocal you can't really understand what the vocal's saying because it's so like messed up. I can show you guys that in a bit if you want. But that's something that happens throughout the song, as well as this sound I missed.
You mind?
Which is just this Dwelly sample with some distortion and convolution reverb. Let's see without the effects what it sounds like. Oh, cool. So let's see what's doing the heavy lifting. I feel like it's a combination of this overdrive. Yeah, this overdrive and this convolution reverb. And then in Serum Effects, let's see. I'm doing some hyperdimension, chorus, compressor, filter, all pass filter. Shout out Asher Postman for showing me this. Gives it a cool sound. So I realized I missed that stuff, so had to back up to that.
Don't ever fall away from the.
So again, when this chorus hits, we have all these other tonal elements come in that like really help the song feel like it's in a space. I like using stuff like this a lot on certain tracks. So like you have this come in, as kind of like a transition thing, and then you have this tonal atmosphere. If you can hear that, I'll turn it up so you can hear it. And you have this shout. And then you have this hit, which is just me saying yeah through some autotune, OTT, LFO tool. It's giving that pump. So all those together, right? And then in context of the beat, let's see here.
Keep thinking of me, don't ever follow.
Let me mute the vocal for a sec. Cool. So we have some cool stuff coming right here. Main thing, not the main thing, but one of the other things that starts coming in during this section is a kick hits. This kick comes in for the first time from this RSL pack on Splice. I really like this pack. It has some really nice sounds in it, especially like kicks and snares. I've used a bunch of samples from there on a few of my songs. You have this snare layer from this OMG Ronnie pack. Really nice little trap snare. Has some saturation on it. I love this plugin. And a transient shaper, just giving it some attack. And then that clap loop's still going. You also have this other percussion loop. Other two percussion loops come in, actually. These two. Then you have that really, really dope fill. Actually, the story of this fill is kind of funny. Sounds like this. So I made this directly inspired by this song called ADD by Turley. Turley's like an artist producer I followed for a minute, and I think he's sick. And I tried to make a fill that was just like this one in his song. And I ended up using it here. I think I just like made it in a different session and then bounced it out, and then it ended up sounding really cool in this pocket. Oh, we also have this cash register. There's so many tracks, guys. Bear with me. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. So we have this noise that comes in. This cash register that I'm pretty sure I got off YouTube. If I ever can't find a sound on Splice, like a sound effect or something, I'll just like YouTube it, and a lot of times you can find it way quicker on YouTube. And then I'll just like route the audio into Ableton, or just like use a YouTube to MP3 downloader. And then we have the chorus build. Okay, I gotta go over these cool chops. Those are dope. Where are those at? Oh, right here. This guy. That's just me like singing or shouting yeah. I think it's through that same effect chain I was telling you guys about. Let me just pull it up so hopefully it doesn't crash Ableton. I can't make this out. It's a lot of plugins. It's like so many things, but it sounds cool for some reason. The one thing that's missing from this chain, though, is this plugin called Camel Crusher that I can't figure out how to find anymore. I figured out it's because Logic Pro or like Apple like bought that company that makes that plugin, and so now they have it in Logic like as a stock plugin called Fat Effects or something, but they don't make you can't, unless you already had it downloaded, you can't get Camel Crusher, and I feel like that was like a really big part of the sound of this. But like if I was just to take a vocal sample, like let's say if I search lead vocal, let's see. You can hear how it like does a bunch of weird stuff. It has like little altar boy on it, lowering format, bunch of EQs for some reason. The distortion within RC20 like at full, It has reverb on it at 100%, and then some gain boost and some EQ. But it sounds cool. So that's something that I found helpful. If you like find an effect chain that's like cool and unique to you, just save it, and then you can just drop it on stuff. But yeah, that's how I made all these effects. It's all went through that. And I just did little chops here and there and stuff. Anyways, that's enough time on those two sounds. Oh, I missed a couple of this guitar slide. It's a very, very small element. You can barely hear that, but you have a little guitar slide for a little transition. Things keep building. You have those cool little snares come in. These guys. These are just Oliver samples, some of the best samples out there.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Now to the part we've all been waiting for. This part took a long time to get right. I feel like we had a few different versions of this, and we were like happy with one at one point, but I just kept trying stuff because I felt like it just, something in me was like, oh, it could be better. It like wasn't giving me that feeling yet. One of the things that Josh had an idea to do was to just take guitar strums. I don't remember if I already had the strums or if he had the idea to do the guitar strums. I can't remember. But he's like, dude, just put Decapitator on it at 100% on Punish. So we were like, oh, that's pretty sick if it just like drops into this.
Yes.
But I didn't love this, just the sound of the distorted guitar like this. I felt like we should like layer it with a more clean sound, which is this. And I have this pitch drop thing happen at the end there. You can see like it's automated, that activate drop thing. Let me just show you. So at the end, it like pitches down. They both do that. And then you have a little reverse guitar right there. And this reverse, which is just one of those chords I think I reversed. So that whole group together then goes into these guitars. There's a lot of like groups within groups. Like the sound design got crazy on this project for sure. There's a lot of effects like on each like group too, so it's kind of crazy and complicated. But I have a ton of guitar layers here, and I was thinking about not using these, but I had spent like a few hours like making all these guitar stacks, and I needed to find a way to use them or else that time was going to be wasted. And they ended up working here. So you have this layer. Which is an electric guitar. It sounds super stretched. It sounds like I stretched it out or something. I might have flattened it. Then you have these harmonies. Oh, cool. So combined with this. And these power chords. Cool, so let me just solo these so you can hear what's going on here. There's just a lot of different layers of guitars that are like, some of them are doing the same thing. Some of them are like playing different notes to give it some interest. So those are not playing the root notes at all, but combined with everything. So you have all those layers plus this. That stuff. You can hear that little pitch bend thing happen. I think I flattened that, it sounds like. Oh wait, no, I'm in here, let's see. No, it looks like I flattened that. But I would just do it that same way within the clip, just in the envelope mode under transpose. Those layers add a lot though. So all those guitars in the drop together, you get which add a ton to that section of the drop. Then you have some other like things that help it feel huge too. You have these white noise layers that just add some nice high end, and then you have this reverse. It just helps with the transition back into the verse. Oh, also effect wise, let me make sure I don't miss anything. You have this sub drop thing. Looks like I just saturated a little bit with the capitator. And then you have just like a reverse. I find these like little reverse effects into different sections really help a ton with making something exciting, and I don't know, it just helps the song like move. I don't know how else to explain it. So we have those effects. There's some more stuff down below, like in the synth group that I'll show you in a sec. But we have these 808s. You have a little pitch bend at the end there that I probably did in here. Yep. Yep, on that last note. And you can see I faded out the beginning of each 808 because I wanted to make room for this kick. I wanted the kick to feel really big right here. And one of the things I ended up doing that's like kind of unconventional for me is I put a top kick on I layered a top kick on the main kick. That part's not unconventional, but for some reason some of the hits, sometimes the top kick was like overbearing on certain hits. I don't know why, I just kept hearing it, so I had to lower like the gain on some of them to make it feel right. So that top layer just sounds like this. It's just like a little click to give it some more, you know, snap and high end. And then as far as snares, you have that same one, I think, for the verse, yeah. And then you have these big yeah, so when it hits right here, you have this reverse snare, you have this organic hit, and then you have the big Oliver sample, and then another reverse snare. I'm telling you, those reverses really like help this section feel as big as it does. Oh, also we have this loop here. That's just layered over the drums. Really dope layer. Right here you have these two hits for some reason, and then these. I think what I did here is I wanted it to feel more crunchy, and so I exported the whole drum group, and then I distorted them like to death, and then I just layered them on. So you can hear if I solo the drums. And now I mute that. It's a lot cleaner. Let me put it back in. You really get that like tone in the kick. Right? And then we just have these hi-hat loops. Another reverse. So this is layering central, guys. Lot of layers like working together to make this happen. You have crashes here. And also beware that when you layer this much, you really have to be intentional about it. You can't just layer a bunch of sounds that sound the same together. You also have to be really intentional about the way you like mix them together, or else you can run into a lot of trouble. Then you also have these tonal effects going into that drop. You have this reverse guy. I can't remember how I made this. I feel like what I probably did is I probably soloed the music group, like all my instruments, like all my keys and guitars and synths. Let me just show you. So I probably just resampled everything like this. Hold on. Like this. And I probably just took a hit like this, like the first chord, and I probably reversed it and then faded it in. And then like did a pitch bend up into it. Yeah, probably something like that. That's not perfect. That's not exactly how it was. But that's probably how I did it. And then shout out Asher Postman sample packs. Go follow Asher Postman. I used his reverb shot here. And I did some weird pitch stuff with it. Looks like, or maybe I didn't. Or maybe I just, maybe I bounced it in place. I don't remember. I know that I chopped it up, and it adds a lot. Okay, a couple more layers in this little like post-chorus drop section. I feel like I've spent forever on this part, but there's just like so much going on. You have these. Oh, I remember when I added this layer, this is what gave me that like feeling of like, oh my gosh, like this is it. You know, like this is we're landing on the right version of this post-chorus. I can't remember how I made this. I think I probably did a similar thing that I just showed you guys where I like soloed the whole music group during the chorus. Maybe like, I don't know. I know that I resampled something. Where am I? Oh, right here. I resampled something and pitched it up. If you can see, oh, let me listen. I'll pitch it back down. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think this is part of the chorus that I just resampled all the music in it and then pitched it up. And it was just like the perfect layer of it felt like to me, it like just felt really pretty, and it made it less like hardcore like rock drop and more like it like collided that hard, you know, guitar world with like this pretty like sparkly world, and I really loved that. So I kept it, and then we have this layer, which is like this only synth layer in this part. It looks like it's this keys preset from Unison with some OTT on it. And I can hear that pitching up on that one part. I remember where that is now. I think it's on my whole music group. Yep. I used frequency shifter on the whole music group, and that's what gives everything that woo, that like swoopy thing. So that's how we got there. Okay, we made it. We made it through the chorus. Okay, verse 2. Hopefully we'll fly through this part, but not because it's Josh's part, and it's my favorite part of the song, I think. So instrumentally, we have the drums continue. Very simple, just that kick and snare. Then you have that moment for Josh's vocal. Let me unsolo or unmute the vocals real quick. Where is it? Oh, there we go. I bounced the vocals to a 2-track because when I had all the vocals in this session, it was really slow, and I didn't want to have the same problem as I did last time I tried to do this stream where my session wouldn't play. So we can take a look at vocals after if you guys want.
Had a choice. Thinking of you became a heaven on earth.
Sick. We have that cool fill. Which is this? This is actually the same fill as from my song I Like That. Right before, and then I Like That at the end of the second verse, going into the second pre. I do this same exact fill. And I brought it in here. And you have it layered with these two guys. Which gives it a cool little accent there. Also, you have this electric bass come back in here. Gives it a nice little moment. Another little reverse guy. Add some interest. Guitar wise, we have, I think I just copied and pasted this note. Yep. Just all for that fill. And then you have this. Oh, I didn't go over these guitars. These guitars happen at the beginning of verse 2 too.
Taking chances with you and
hey man, no sneezing on my stream. Gosh, guys, if you have little brothers, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. This sparkly guitar that I think is really pretty. I recorded it through my Kemper, which is like a amp simulator. Like, it's not a plugin, it's like a physical box that's on my desk right here. And then I just put some reverb on it. Let's see what else we got.
one that I never really wanna give up.
We have a little synth action here.
And if you became a heaven, one that I never really wanna give up. Feels like it.
That moment. Let's see what we have here. Oh, these are actually muted during that section, so there's nothing going on. We have the same like tonal atmosphere happening along the second verse just to give it some space. We have this cool little like ear candy fill here. That's just a sample I found, and I put it through convolution reverb. It's a cool little moment. Just nice sample choice, I think. Oh, on Josh's vocal right here. This little like low layer. Just took his lead vocal and did some formant shifting and pitching and drive. Looks like I'm automating it. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Somewhere else in the song, maybe? Let's see. Oh yeah, like I didn't want it on there for this. Or I wanted to form it all the way down there, and I also wanted more drive here. So it changes for those two. And then I think for this part too. Looks like this rack doesn't turn on for either of those, so never mind. And then my favorite moment of the second verse is this part.
Feels like it's about time to
added a layer of that same guitar as this. It's just pitched up and it just helps the song move along. Add another layer, right? I try to have something cool happen like every 4 to 8 bars, or something to change, or something to be added or taken away. That's just like a Max Martin pop music rule, I feel like. So this is my favorite part of the song. I think these like synth stabs are so sick, and I was so excited when I made them. So it all is playing off of Josh's vocal when he does. Right? So you have these synth stabs that I think are so dope. So it's the Jupe 8 by Arturia. I can't remember if I made this or like if I was working off of a preset. Knowing me, I probably found a preset I liked. Although sometimes I'll make stuff from scratch, but it's less common. And I'm automating the release of the synth so that it has a little more of a release towards the end of the phrase there, and the cutoff is automated a little bit, so it opens up a little bit more towards the end. Also, I have sample delay, which if you know what that is, it's just like the Haas effect. If you delay one ear from the other slightly, it'll sound really wide. And so towards the end of the phrase, it gets really wide. It starts normal, and then you hear it go really wide to both your ears. And then the convolution reverb gives it a cool sound. I'm obsessed with convolution reverb. I think it sounds so cool. So you'll see that as a theme through a lot of my new stuff too. But yeah, it just puts the synth in a cool space. And then you have this layer, just this little bass layer. It's this preset I got off Splice in the Super Glow Bubblegum Bass Pack True Grit. And then really cool layer is this vocoder. So with Josh's vocal,
oh na na yeah, my side. Oh na na yeah,
so sick, and combined with these two,
oh na na yeah, my
just
side.
really, really, really thick. If you want a tutorial on how to make it like the best vocoder ever, I've shouted him out like 10 times, but I've learned a lot from him. Asher Postman on YouTube. If you look up like Asher Postman vocoder tutorial, he has a really great tutorial on how to make a really nice vocoder. I probably referenced it when I was making this, honestly. Same stuff you guys have already seen. If there's anything special here. Okay, looks like we have these claps here. Cool. So these mix with those. Everything cuts out, and that's like my favorite thing about this section is I cut everything out, and this takes a lot of like you have to automate a lot of stuff when you do this. So like any reverb tail, any synth that like has a release on it, like you have to go, and that's why like a lot of my tracks, as you'll see, or maybe you won't see, like I have a utility plugin on every track usually, and I'm usually using it to like cut out the volume of certain tracks. So like normally it would be like this. It would have that big tail, but I cut it off so that it's just silent there. And then it just, you know, adds all this contrast, and it makes the moment really cool. Trying to think if I have anything else special here. I mean, the only new element drum-wise, I think, is these claps that continue through here, along with this. My type, your desires divine, and there's no way around it. And then you have those hi-hats, which I'm hearing. Where are those at? My type, your desires divine. My type. Where I hear hi-hats, where are those? Oh, we'll find them. We'll find them eventually. They're probably like in the wrong group or something. Oh, it's this. I don't know why that's not in my drum group, but that's a really, really cool layer that I use later in the song too. Really, really, really cool loop. And then going into second chorus, and there's no way around it. Just have that layer, that I can't make it out effect layer. No way around it. You can take on. Then you have that pick sound. If you didn't know what it is, it's like a pick falling. Just a sample I found. Mixed with that. You can take all my money. Don't think I need it when I cash in your loving. Don't need. I probably have some new elements here that are different than hook one, just to make it feel bigger. Let's see. Have this. Oh, that chord that just hits on the downbeat. Looks like it's just Analog Labs. Some preset that I liked and found. Pro 533 electric piano. Some effects on it. Oh, and then we have this guy. Which is sick. Mixed with this. This is a massive patch, it looks like. Some preset called Neptune. We have these hitting on the drum. Looks like I made those in Wavetable. So all those synths together. You can hear that, like the synths cut out at certain moments. Let's see what moment that is.
Don't need to think about catching you loving. Don't need to think about
Like right there for some reason. I decided to cut them out. Sometimes I'll do that just to create more space. A lot of times it's like when I'm mixing a track, especially, it's like not necessarily always about like EQing something to get out of something else's way. Sometimes it just doesn't need to be there at all during certain moments, or it doesn't need to like keep carrying on if there's like reverb on it. So you can cut that stuff out. And at least that's how I've found myself to like achieve a more clean, production sound. Some people will tell me that like the production sounds clean, and I feel like that's how I like kind of achieve that, is just by being kind of OCD about like reverb tails and like when stuff cuts out and stuff. And we have this layer, just like a tonal layer, and that effect.
take all my money. Don't think I need it when I catching you loving. Don't need to think about buying something.
Something I haven't covered is like the 808 in the chorus, which is this. Mixed with this. Okay, this is one thing that like I remember when I was mixing this track, like these basses don't sound, they kind of clash. But for some reason, like in the mix, like in the context of the whole mix, like when I took this out, it like lost something, and so I just left it. Someone else probably could have mixed that together better, but it sounded good to me. But the 808 is pretty simple. It's really not, it's more like a sub than anything. It's this preset called Bass Powerful by that same Super Glow Bubblegum bass pack on Splice. And it just has some slides in it. I tailored this bass line exactly to the electric bass. Like I made them fit like a glove, if that makes sense. Especially like right here. That bass, that live bass, like did a slide thing, and so when I added the sub under, I needed to make sure that they like sounded like the same instrument, if that makes sense. And that's like a big thing with this song, for example. Like the song itself sounds pretty minimal in a lot of the sections of the song, and you can see there's a lot of tracks, like there's a ton going on. But oh, by the way, I just realized I don't even know if I told you guys I was wearing sunglasses as a complete joke. I don't think that I'm cool by wearing these. Wait, am I cool? What? You know what? Never trust your little brother. What? He won't be paying attention to your stream. He won't be there for you, in a nutshell.
Adam didn't even produce the song, you guys, so let me take over.
Okay. Anyway, I was saying like all these layers, like it feels pretty simplistic, but there's a lot of layers, and the reason why it doesn't feel more like cluttered, I guess, or like there's so much going on, is because like I mentioned earlier, like when there's a lot of tracks, a lot of times they're layered together to make one sound. So like to the person's ear, it sounds like one sound, even though there's a lot of tracks. It's not like there's all these tracks doing completely different things, you know? Like this sub is just supplementing or helping out this bass to give it some low end. Oh, and then you have these 808 hits, I feel like, that are really important in the chorus. Right? It's actually a completely different sound than the rest of the bass. You have this layer, which is Serum. Looks like I just dropped a sample in there. Oh yeah, it's the Cymatics 808 that I think sounds really good, called 808C7. Kind of boring name, but good sample. Then you have like a gritty layer. That just comes in really just for that like moment in the chorus, as like kind of like a bass fill. Okay, jumping back to second chorus. I think I went over everything that like is new in that chorus, really. Oh, you have these guitars. It's another like tonal ambience layer.
About losing all the movies we never miss.
Really cool like ad libs. These are some of my favorite ad libs that I've ever done or that I've ever had in a song. And I just love the way that like me and Josh's vocal works together. Have this weird vocal layer.
The movies we never miss. Pure bliss never felt like.
Okay, now the second post drop thing. Oh no, it's feeding back. Is a little bit different. It just starts a little bit different. So we have this like breakbeat thing. Yeah, it's in a group called Breakbeat. I'll solo it. Sounds like this. Oh, that's hard. I love that. You have this layer. I think I just chopped up a breakbeat. You have this snare that layers on it, and then this layer. Looks like I'm doing some panning. Oh yeah, it has auto pan on it. It has a bunch of effects. So it has. This is saturation plugin I mentioned earlier. Really, really sick. Let me take off all the effects. You can hear everything that's happening. So, still sounds cool, but give it that saturation. Transient designer. Put some of the attack back when you distort something. A lot of times you lose some of like the transient and the punchiness of it. So give it some attack, some EQ. Some weird stereo-ness, PS22 stereo spread by waves. That's this I like to use this thing. It sounds weird. Actually, 2 instances of it, which gives it even more weird like spatialness. And then you have auto pan, and then this is probably just when I was doing the final mix, adding some 3K and some 1.5K and some 200 basically. And it hits on certain points here too. Oh, and on the second part, second time it does it, you have this hi-hat loop coming. So let's see if anything else is different from drop 1. Oh yeah, you have these. Oh wait, no, never mind. Those are already in drop 1. Trying to find anything that's like different. Let's see. I think these. Oh no, those are the distorted drums. Breakbeat. I think that's the main thing, guys. Looks like a lot of this stuff is already here. You have the effects. Oh, you have this effect. Just a little riser. Then you have some drum fills I remember making up here. Where are those at? Oh, like this Travis Barker sample I chopped up. Crashes on every hit at the end just to give it more energy. Let's see if there's any more stuff down here. I honestly think that's it. You have some vocal stuff. Some vocal effects.
This.
Oh, how did we miss this part? First one.
This.
So this is this. This is a sample that I remember we went to like a name, like a text to speech website, and we knew we wanted it to say this, and so you could like audition a bunch of different names. It was like Jack and Sally and Susan and Jeff, and had a bunch of these like computer names of different voices. I can't remember which one. I should have named this track whatever name we chose, but we just ripped it off that website and put it in here and thought it was dope. So And then yeah, some more vocal effects here.
This.
And this reverse reverb thing.
Like this. Pure bliss. Like this. Pure bliss.
Little harmony there. Yeah, and then as far as the outro goes, you just have these little chords mixed with this. Electric piano mixed with that little like pluck sound. That was one of the last things I added to the song, so that's why the MIDI's still there. I usually flatten everything. You have this impact. Little effect I made. Asher Postman white noise breakdown. And then you have some of that. Oh, this loop, which I have no idea where it's from or where I got it from or whatever, plays in the outro. And then really what makes the outro is like you have some elements from earlier in the song like this. You know, the song starts with that and those chops. But what really makes it is like the ad-libs.
Pure bliss, pure bliss. Oh, I never really felt like this.
Those are like pitch shifted. Hey, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the song. Yeah, so that's Pure Bliss, and I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed something in this hour that I've been streaming. If you guys did enjoy this, like, please reach out to me, DM me on Instagram, let me know so that I know if I should do more of these. If you guys enjoyed this, I'd love to do another one next week before my new single drops, just to kind of like close out the whole Color era, and maybe I can break down another song from Color. So DM me, let me know what I should break down. And yeah. Also, if you guys